This is Distinction Learning Center, the light of education. Our topic for today is Mathematics 10 Commandments, in which we are proceeding to the next commandment, which is conversion of fraction. Conversion of fraction. Now, as we have been taught when we were in primary school, that we have three types of fraction. We have proper fraction, improper fraction, and mixed fraction. Now, what is proper fraction? Now, proper fraction, these are fractions that are expressed in such a way that the numerator is less than the denominator. In such a way that the numerator is less than what? The denominator. Is less than the denominator. Now, this type of fraction is what we call what? Proper fraction. Is what we call proper fraction. And let's now explain the second type of fraction, which is improper fraction. Now, what is improper fraction? This is a type of fraction which is expressed in such a way that the numerator is more than the denominator. Numerator is more than the denominator. Now, if you look at your numerator here, numerator here, you will see that this numerator is more than what? Is more than the denominator. So that means 4/3 is what? Is a good type of what? Is a type of improper fraction. That is, whenever you see this type of fraction, it means what? It is improper fraction. Now, let's now move to the third one, which is mixed fraction. Mixed fraction. Now, mixed fraction is a type of fraction that is always written in form of combination of a whole number and a fraction. That is, a situation whereby a whole number is combined with what? A fraction. A situation whereby a whole number is combined with a fraction. So that is when we call it what? Mixed fraction. That is, this 3 is what? Is a whole number, and this 1/2 is what? Is a fraction. Now, since they are combined together, we will call it what? Mixed fraction. We call it what? Mixed fraction. So now, once we have that, so wherever you see any kind of expression like this, it means what? It is mixed fraction. Now, let's now move to the rules of fraction. The rules of fraction here. So what this particular rules is trying to explain is that how we can convert from mixed fraction to what? To improper fraction. How we can convert from mixed fraction to improper fraction. Now, if you look at this particular expression here, this is what? A whole number B over C. A whole number B over C. Now, what you can do if you want to convert from mixed fraction to improper fraction. So the easier way is that you just say this A, that is this A whole number, multiply by this C, that is A times C. So that is how we arrive to this particular A times C. And your answer, after you multiply this whole number by this denominator, that is A times C, your answer, you now add it to what? The numerator, which is B. So that is how we arrive to this particular expression here, that is A times C plus B. Now, everything will now be divided by what? Will now be divided by the denominator. So you will divide your answer here by what? By the denominator under the mixed fraction, which is C. So after doing that, you now simplify this by saying that A times C will give us what? AC. A times C will give what? So you now add this AC to what? To this B, and divide it by what? By C, and divide it by C. So that is how we arrive to our improper fraction. So that is how we arrive to our improper fraction. Now, the next one is what we have been taught when we were in primary school, that this A here will be what? The numerator, and this B here will be what? The denominator. So that is how a fraction is being expressed. Now, let's now move to the to the example section. To the example section. Now, under the example section, it is classified into two. The example section is classified into two. The first section is how we can convert from improper fraction to what? To mixed fraction. How we can convert from improper fraction to what? To mixed fraction. That is section 1. And section 2 is how we can convert from mixed fraction to improper fraction. How we can convert from mixed fraction to what? Improper fraction. So I'm going to explain all this in details, so that whenever you see any question pertaining to that, you'll be able to answer it correctly. Now, let's start from this particular section, that is how we can convert from improper fraction to what? To mixed fraction. Now, question 1 here is 9 over 2. 9 divided by 2. Now, how can you do this? What you will do here is that, since we have what? 9 over 2 here, 9 divided by 2. So, if you want to do this, the best way you can use to do it is to divide the denominator here by the numerator first. Now, how many 2 can we see in 9? That means we can see 4 2. We can see 2 in 4 times in 9. That means we have 4 whole number. Now, it will now remain how many? It will remain 1, because 2 times 4, this 2 times 4 here is what? Is 8. And 8 minus 9 will give us what? 1. So that means, how many 2 can we see in 9? That is 4. And it remains 1 over the denominator being given to us there, which is 2. So that means we have converted it from what? Improper fraction to what? To mixed fraction. So that means 9 over 2 will give us what? 4 whole number 1 over 2. So that is how we arrive to this particular solution here. So that is that. Now, the next one is question 2. Question 2, which is what? 7 over 4. 7 over 4. So that means what we are going to do here is, how many 4 can we see in 7? So 4 can go in 7 in what? In 1 times. And 4 times 1 is what? 4 times 1 is what? Is 4. Are you getting it? And 4 minus 7 will be what? Will be 3. So that means, how many 4 can we see in 7? That is 1. And it will remain what? It will remain 3. Everything over what? Over the denominator, which is what? 4. So that means our answer here will be what? 1 whole number 3 over 4. So that is how we get this. Do you understand? Now, the next question under example section is what? 8 over 3. 8 over 3. Now, 8 over 3 will be what? 8 over 3 will be. Now, that is, how many 3 can we see in 8? How many 3 can we see in 8? That is what? 2 times. That is, we can see 3 in 8 in 2 times. That is 2. And 3 times 2 is what? Is 6. 6 minus 8 is what? That is 8 minus 6, that is 2. So that means we have 2 whole number 2. Because 6, sorry, yes, 2. And that means 2 whole number 2 over what? The denominator. That is, our denominator is 3. So that means we have what? This. So 3 times 2, 6, and 6 plus 2, 8. 8 over 3. So that means our answer here is still correct. It's correct. So do you understand? So that is the first section of the example. Now let's now move to the next section of the example, that is where we are going to convert from mixed fraction to improper fraction. From mixed fraction to improper fraction. Now, how can we do that? So, if you want to do that, As you can see, this is what? This is a mixed fraction, and we converted it to what? Improper fraction. But how did we converted it? So what we are going to do is you just say 5 whole number 2 over 3. 5 whole number 2 over 3. So if you want to convert it, so you can use this particular rule here. So this particular rule, which says that you will multiply the whole number by the denominator and plus it with what? With the numerator. So if you want to do that, it will just be what? 5 times 3. This 5 times this 3. So that means it's what? 5 times 3. 5 times 3 plus the numerator plus this numerator is 2. That is plus 2. Everything over what? Over the denominator, which is 3. You now divide it by what? By 3. So that means 5 times 2. 5 times 3 is what? 15. And 15 plus 2, that is 17. So that means our answer is what? 17 over this 3. Yeah, 17 divided by 3. So that means our answer here is correct. So that is that about that. Now, and the second question under this section is 7 whole number 1 over 2. 7 whole number 1 over 2. Now, how are you going to do this? You multiply the 7 by the 2 by you will multiply the 7 whole number by the 2 denominator and plus it with the numerator, which is what? Which is 1. That is this 7 by 2 and plus it with what? With this numerator, and divide everything by what? By the denominator, which is 2. We divide it by 2. That means we now have what? 7 times 2 is what? Is 14. And 14 plus 1, that is 15. So that means our answer is what? 15 divided by what? 15 divided by 2. That is 15 divided by 2. So that means this particular answer is also correct. Now the third one, which is 4 whole number 4 over 5. 4 whole number 4 over 5. So how are you going to do this if you want to do it? That is 4 whole number 4 over 5. 4 number 4 over 5. Now the rules still be the same. That means you are going to multiply this whole number by the what? By the denominator, which is what? 4 times 5. 4 times 5 plus the numerator, which is what? Which is 4. Everything over what? Over the denominator being given to us, which is what? 5. That is, so that is this 4 multiplied by this 5 and add it with what? The numerator, which is this 4. Everything over what? The denominator, that is 4 times 5 is what? Is 20. And 20 plus 4, that is 24. That means our answer will now be what? 24 over 5. That is 24 divided by 5. So that is the last answer under the example section. So I have strong assurance that whenever you see any question pertaining to conversion of fraction, you'll be able to give adequate justice to that question with this particular explanation that we've been given under this tutorial section. So, and also let's now move to the classwork. Please take your pen and take your book. Try to work it out before you watch the remaining video. After working it out, compare your answer with the solution given to the classwork section. Yeah. Now, here, under conversion of fraction from improper fraction to mixed fraction. Now the question 1 here is what? 11 over 12. 11 over 12. Now if you want to do that one, that is number 1 question. Now 11 over 12. So that is 11 over 11 over 2 rather. 11 over 2. That means what are we going to do here? You just say how many 2 can we see in 11? How many 2 can we see in 11? That means we can see 5 2s in 11. That is 2 times 5 will give us 10. And 10 minus 11. 10 minus 11 will give us what? 1. So that means it will remain 1 over the denominator being given to us, which is 2. So that means 11 over 2, 11 over 2 will equal to what? Will equal to 5 whole number 1 over 2. 1 over 2. So that is question 1. Now question 2 now. Question 2. Now, so our question 2 will go like this. That is 9 over 4. Question 2, 9 over 4. 9 over 4. So that is how many 4 can we see in 9? How many 4 can we see in 9? That is 2. 2, 4 in 9. So that means 4 times 2. 4 times 2 here. 4 times 2 here will give us what? 8. And 8 minus 9. That is 9 minus 8 will give us what? 1. That is everything over what? Over the denominator being given to us here, which is 4. So that means here our answer will be what? 2 whole number 1 over 4. 2 whole number 1 over 4. And don't forget, our answer in question 1 is what? 5 whole number 1 over 2. 5 whole number 1 over 2. 1 over 2. And the second solution is what? 2 whole number 1 over 4. 2 number 1 over 4. 2 number 1 over 4. And the third one is what we want to do now. That is question 3. Question 3. Now we have 4 over 3. 4 over 3. So how are we going to solve this? So we just say how many 3 can you see in 4? That is 1. That means 3 times 1. 3 times 1 is what? Is 3. And 4 minus 3, that is 1. That is, it will remain 1 over what? Over the denominator, which is 3. That is 1 on number 1 over 3. So that means the answer of this will be what? 1 on number 1 over 3. 1 over 1 over 3. Now, the next section we are going to attend to is what? How we can convert from mixed fraction to what? To improper fraction. So that will be the next section. Now, the question of that one. Now, number 1 question that one is 5 whole number 2 over 5. 5 whole number 2 over 5. So what are we going to do then? So what we are going to do is that we will multiply the denominator by the whole number, which is what? 5 times 5. 5 times 5, and plus it with the numerator and add it with the what? The numerator, which is plus 2, and divide everything by what? The denominator given to us, which is what? 5. So that means you now say 5 times 5 will give us 25, and 25 plus 2 will give us what? 27 over 5. 27 over 5. So that means our answer here will be what? 27 over 5. 27 over 5. So now the next question, which is question 2, that is 10 whole number, that is question 2, that is 10 whole number 10 whole number 3 over 5. 10 whole number 3 over 5. So how are we going to do this? That means we multiply the whole number by what? By the denominator, which is 10 times 5, 10 times 5, 10 times 5 plus the numerator, so you plus it with what? The numerator plus 3. Everything over what? Over 5. Everything over 5. Everything over 5. So that means we now have what? 10 times 5 is 50. And 50 plus 3. So 10 times 5 is 50. And 50 plus 3 will give us what? That is 53. 53 divided by what? Divided by 5. 53 divided by 5. So that means this one will give us what? 53 divided by what? Divided by 5. 53 divided by 5. Now, the next one, which is the last section there. So, what are we going to do to that? So, that is question 3. Question 3 now. Question 3. So, that is 7 whole number 4 over 3. 7 whole number 4 over 3. So how are we going to solve this? So what we're going to do there is you just say equal to. So we multiply the whole number by what? By the denominator, which is what? 7 times 3. 7 times 3 plus the numerator given to us plus the numerator given to us, which is 4, and everything divided by the denominator given to us, which is 3. So that means we now have what? Equal to 7 times 3, that is 21. 7 times 3, that is 21, and 21 plus 4, that is 25. That is 25. So that means you now divide the 25 by what? By 4. Divide 25 by 4. So that means what? Our answer will be what? 25 over 3. I don't know where I see 4. Now that is what? 25 over what? Over 3, which is the denominator of this one. Do you understand? So that is 25 over 3. 25 over 3. So that is the final answer of all the questions. So with this, I have strong assurance and strong belief that you'll be able to solve any question pertaining to conversion of fraction, and make sure you get the answer right. So if your answer is the same thing with what we've written on the screen yesterday, that means you have known it 100%. So I still remain Simid from Distinction Learning Center.